Okay, full disclosure, this is the second time that I am filming this. We are doing it again, so let's just get right into it. Today's video is going to be all about my experience visiting the Traveler's Factory locations in Tokyo and Kyoto. I have a feeling this is going to be quite a long video, so I invite you to grab yourself a tea, coffee, or cozy beverage of your choice, something to keep you company like a planner or a journal or your traveler's notebook, and a snack to keep you company while we hang out and talk about Traveler's Factory. For my snack, I grabbed these gummies that I got in Japan. They come in all these different flavors. This one was a special autumn version, and it's these sweet and sour fruit gummies. I think this is either apple or pear flavored. This is what they look like. I'm a big fan of candy. I think I like it more than chocolate, and you can get these everywhere. I think I got these at 7-Eleven or Family Mart. I honestly wish I had brought more home. For my beverage of choice, I've just got a hot water. And let's get right into it because we have a lot to cover. Okay, so the very first Traveler's Factory location we visited was the Narita Airport location. This location is open until 6 p.m. The location itself is pretty easy to find. I would say it's a lot easier than the Tokyo train station location. The exact location is the T1 Central Building, 4th floor, before security check. It's a pretty small location, but it is packed from floor to ceiling. Since I live in Toronto, all the stationery stores that carry Travelers company items, you only see like a small selection. Usually it's the inserts and a few of the charms, which I find aren't always the brass ones. They're the silver ones, I think, or the stainless steel ones, and of course the standard covers. So my strategy for visiting all of the Travelers factories were to focus primarily on the items that were exclusive to those locations. So for example, I didn't get a cover, but the Narita Airport has a specific cover that you can only get at the Narita Airport. And the same can be said for the other locations. And every Traveler's Factory location has a stamping area, so there's typically stamps that you can collect that are exclusive to those locations, and then there's always a bunch of other fun stamps that you can use as well when you're there. The other really cool thing is they have this vending machine, gumball machine type of thing, and you can buy a token from the staff. I will put the amount on the screen because I can't remember exactly. I think it was 300 yen. And you can put that token in and get a pin. So I bought a token and I used the machine twice. Once when I arrived and once when we were leaving Japan because we had enough time to go back. So these are the two pins that I got from their vending machine. And I believe by default they come as pins. But once you actually get the button or the pin, you can change the back. And you can either turn it into a charm, I think you can turn it into a magnet, or you can keep it as a pin. So because I turned these into charms, that means that I can string them on these strings really easily, so that's one way that you can use them, and that's probably how I will use them. So I thought this was really cool. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and show you what I got at that location. When I purchased some items, you can ask them to wrap it up as a gift. I already took the items out because I already filmed this unboxing, but this is what it looks like. You get a little baggage check, some string, and then you get to pick a sticker. So I will start with the stickers that I got. They had such a wide selection of stickers. It was incredibly hard to narrow down the ones that I wanted to get. But I'm really happy with the selection that I got. So I'll start with this one because it's already opened. This is what the packaging looks like. And you can buy each of these stickers individually, or you can buy them in a set. So I decided to buy them in a set. Okay, so those are baggage stickers, and the idea with these stickers is they're made to be large enough that you can put on your suitcases. I'm not sure if I'm ready to sacrifice one of these stickers for my suitcases because they do get tossed around and they do get dirty, but that's something that maybe I will do in the future. Okay, the next one are these Pan Am stickers. So I love the color palette. I love this kind of muted, earthy theme that's going on. And the last one are these Kanaya Hotel stickers. So it says this set of stickers are arranged in the motif of baggage tags, stickers, and old advertisements used at Kanaya Hotel. I love this one. This might be one of my favorites. Okay, so those are the larger stickers. I also got these Ace Hotel stickers. I think my favorite one is this one. It reminds me of those air fresheners that you put in cars. Okay, next we have these Love and Trip folders and pencil board. When I saw photos of these, I initially resisted because I really loved last year's theme. I have one of the covers, or one of the folders here. So this was Traveler's Town last year. They also came out with these really beautiful folders that I loved the illustrations for. But once I saw these in person, I really fell for them, and maybe it was because I was on a trip that I really wanted to get some of these things. So I'll start with this pencil board. It's this beautiful burnt orange color with cream as the accent color, and there's some gold there. I don't know if you can see that. So it almost looks like a sticker sheet, which I love. I think my favorite illustration is either this "Every traveler's notebook is filled with love," or this add flowers to your traveler's notebook. So I love that. And then I got the 2 folders. I really liked the fact that it's an illustration of a passport with little drawings from someone's trip, which is exactly what I was trying to do on our trip. So I loved that. It just says, "Love and trip, have a nice trip with love." And I really like that they're kind of opaque. So the folders from last year had a clear window, and it did make it harder to see those illustrations. So I'm glad that they decided to do the opaque folder, and I actually prefer this. Even though I really like the illustrations from last year, I think I prefer this style. And this is the standard size folder. And as you can see, it is also opaque. That's the folders. Next up, I got this brass charm. I tried to focus on getting the brass charms that were exclusive to each Traveler's Factory location. And this one, you might have been able to get this at other locations. I'm not positive, but I do know there were some brass charms that I bought that were only available in that specific location. Well, this is what this one looks like. Fly to the world from Japan, Traveler's Factory, made in Japan. And it looks like it has a mountain and a plane flying around it. And then on the back, it's blank. So the idea is that if you want you can hang it off your traveler's notebook like that, which I intend to do. I'm not sure which charm will go with which traveler's notebook cover, but I will figure that out in a different video. Last but not least, I got these inserts. So this one you would have already seen. I bought 2 of these on the trip, so I would have one for future and then one that I could use right away. So it's a blank insert, and I'll show you. This is what it looks like. It's just a blank insert with cream paper. So that's this one. The second one I got was this traveler's passport. It's like this orangey brown cover with gold foiling, and it says, "Traveler's passport, fly to the world from Japan. For all the travelers who have a free spirit, Traveler's Factory Airport." And on the inside, it is a blank cream insert, which is my favorite. In case you're curious, it is different from the Love and Trip. So this one is a little more red, and this one's a little more orange, if you can see that. The last one I got was a standard insert that you can get anywhere, so it's not exclusive to Japan, but this was my first stop, and I wasn't sure how many stickers I was going to collect on the trip. And since I wanted to get one of these anyway to add to a different traveler's notebook, I thought it would just be more economical to buy this in Japan so I could have it ready to be used if necessary, or I knew I was going to have a use for this when I got home. So in case you haven't seen these sticker release paper inserts, this is what they look like. It's an insert of the sticker backing type paper. So you can easily put stickers on here and come back to them later when you want them. So whenever I was out in Japan, if there was something that I noticed was a sticker, I would try my best to carefully remove them and put them in here so that later when I do my memory keeping, I can use these things for that reason. The last 2 items are these washi tapes. This one is called Japan Guide, and this one is called NRT Airport. So I already opened them when I filmed this the first time, but in case you're curious what they look like, This is what the entire roll looks like for the Japan guide. So there's TFA travel guide, there's plain, Mount Fuji, sushi, onsen, traveler's notebook, traveler's factory NRT, bonsai, and temples. And then this one is the NRT, so this is the repeat. They're all themed around an airport. I'm looking forward to using this, especially as I continue working on memory keeping for my trip. So that is everything that I got from the Narita airport. Alright, it is the next day because it started to get really dark yesterday and I was worried that everything was going to be hard to see. It is another cloudy and rainy day, so hopefully the fact that I'm filming this in the morning will help a little bit. Also, as a disclaimer, today my beverage of choice is a coffee because it is the morning. So because I'm drinking coffee, I might start talking faster than I already do, so I'll try to contain the caffeine. So the next one I'm going to talk about is not technically a traveler's factory, but it is a stop that I really wanted to make because Starbucks and Travelers Company have collaborated on a number of products and I really like their collaboration products. And fun fact is it's actually quite close to the original Nakameguro location. I was thinking about this, and although we split up our visits to the Traveler's Factory over a few days, if you were really determined to visit all of the Traveler's Factory locations in one day, minus the airport, unless you somehow manage to arrive with enough time to do all of this, I would recommend going to the Starbucks Reserve Roastery as your first stop because they are actually open the earliest compared to the other locations. So this Starbucks Reserve Roastery is open at 7 a.m. By the time we got there, I want to say it was around 9 a.m. I don't know if the Travelers Company area is open at the same time that Starbucks is open. But if you go at 9 a.m., this was on a Sunday, it wasn't too busy. There was no line to get in. And the Nakameguro location isn't open until noon. So if you go there at 9 a.m., I would recommend staying and having a coffee and grabbing a pastry or some food to eat. Everything was really good there. And I ended up shopping at the Travelers Company area, which I'll show you shortly. And then we ordered some food. I got a coffee and we shared some pastries. And then I sat at a table and I journaled for a little while. It is such a cool atmosphere. I'm not a huge Starbucks fan in Toronto normally, but there's something about the Starbucks locations in Japan. They all seemed really fancy. The roastery itself is huge. There's 4 floors and each floor has its own style and theme, and even the stairs that you take to go to each floor has a different theme. So one floor had like a whole wall of coffee cups and another floor had a whole wall of photographs. I believe the first and the second floor have their own stations where you can order food, possibly even the third floor. I don't think the top floor has one, but it does have a gorgeous outdoor seating space. So if you are able to go, I recommend, and if it's a nice day, it's really nice to sit outside and enjoy your coffee and have a nice look at the city. And the last thing I'll say, at 9 a.m. on a Sunday, it was actually pretty full and it was hard to find a table to sit at. I did notice some tables have a reserved sign on them. I asked a staff member what it meant because there was an empty table with a reserve sign and I was really hoping to sit and do some journaling. And the staff explained that it's reserved after, I think it was afternoon. So after a certain period, maybe when it gets really busy and people start arriving to eat and they want to keep the tables available. So I just thought I would share that because it was really confusing. This is a card that they had at the front and I just grabbed it because I really liked this illustration. And this is in a plastic bag. because I wanted to show you. The day that we went, it was raining in the morning. And so when I made my order, they had this little bag with slits here, and they even taped the bottom so it could stay protected when you left, which I thought was such a nice little touch. I like the care they put into allowing you to preserve your goods. This is the bag. This beautiful black bag. It says Starbucks Reserve Roastery, and it looks like it's a rose gold foil, and it's the same on the back. So if this is the roastery, you go in through these doors, and if you turn right, then the Travelers Company area is around here. So it's essentially like a booth, and it's not that big. For some reason I was expecting it to be a lot bigger, but it was probably better for my wallet that it wasn't. They had all of their Travelers Company Starbucks Reserve Roastery collaboration items, including the covers, which are gorgeous, and I was very tempted to get one because they are beautiful, but it was the first stop of the trip, really, after the Narita airport location, and I was trying to be somewhat responsible and restrained. So I really tried to focus on exclusive inserts and accessories that I knew would be harder to get in Toronto. So the first thing I'm going to show you are these beautiful stickers. They've all got this rose gold embossing. Okay. Honestly, looking at these stickers, they're so beautiful. I slightly regret only getting one pack. Next up, I will show you the accessories that I got. So, the first thing that I got was this brass tag. And it just has the Starbucks Reserve logo. So you can see here, they have this at the top of the building, and on the doors they have this star and the R. That's what it looks like on the front. And on the back it says Travelers Company Made in Japan. Then I got this brass tag, and it's a little coffee cup. And then on the back it says Travelers Company Made in Japan. And I love this card as well. So beautiful. Everything has this kind of copper rose gold foiling on it. And I'm thinking this is something that I would use as a charm for these strings that you get. You could also put the charm right over, like right on this string as well if you wanted to. Then I got this brass clip. I am kind of regretting not getting a Starbucks cover now, because this would all be so cohesive together, which was, I'm sure, their intention. This is what the clip looks like. It says Starbucks Reserve Roastery, Travelers Company, and then it's blank on the back. And I actually think we're going to use this for our coffee. So we buy our coffee in bulk at a local coffee shop. We buy 5-pound coffee bags at our local cafe, and right now I'm just using those wire clips, and I've gone through a few of them because they keep breaking. So even though I didn't need a fancy brass, I think this will be a lot sturdier and will always have memories of visiting the Starbucks Reserve Roastery. Next accessory is this Love and Trip. I guess I had it in my mind that I loved the collaboration, and because I got the standard pencil board at the airport and then I got the folders for the passport and the standard, I guess I wore down and I decided that I wanted to have this pencil board as well. So this one is primarily blue and it has a few cute illustrations. I really like it. Okay, so this is one of the only times I got so many multiples, so please don't judge me. But I was really excited, and I think these inserts are some of my favorite out of all of the exclusive inserts that you can get at each location. I think these are some of my favorite, so that's why I did get a few more than I probably needed to get. So this one is this really beautiful light blue or medium blue with different coffee illustrations, and I love coffee and I love coffee illustrations, so I got 2 of these, and this is what it looks like. This is what the back looks like. It says exclusively for Starbucks Reserve, and you can see it is a cream, it's a blank cream insert, which I love. The next one is this coffee journey, and it is a brown cover, which is also one of my favorite insert covers, and it says Coffee Tokyo Journey, Traveler's Company exclusively for Starbucks Reserve, and you can see that this is all in this rose gold kind of copper foiling, and in the actual Starbucks Reserve there's a lot of copper detailing in their interior, so this is very on theme. Oh! Okay, I wasn't expecting this. The inside is not a blank insert. It looks like it's actually like a, I don't know what you would call this, like a place where you can put photos, maybe ephemera. I could put stickers in here, like my larger vinyl stickers. If you have this insert, what do you use this for? Let me know. This is great, actually. I'm sure I'm gonna find a use for this, but anyway, that's what this looks like. I'm even more excited about this. Okay, and finally we have 2 standard size inserts. So I'll open this one first. I liked the neutral colors of this insert. And this really says Arabica Green Coffee, established 1971, Seattle, Washington. And then on the back, there's some coffee beans. And the inside, so it's this kind of craft paper. I'm not sure what type of paper this is, but I don't think it's Midori paper. The last one is this really beautiful blue-gray coffee journey, and it's got this copper foiling again, and it says have a nice trip with coffee and Traveler's Notebook. And then on the back it says Traveler's Company exclusively for Starbucks Reserve, and it is a grid white paper insert. So I was thinking maybe I would use this insert for coffee related musings. While I was there, they released a coffee rating insert. It was really cute. I slightly regret not getting it, but I knew that I had picked up a couple of inserts like this, and I wanted to use these for coffee related things, so that's probably what I'm going to do with this one. When we travel, we love to find local coffee shops and try their coffees, and when possible, buy a bag of beans and bring them home. We didn't bring any coffee beans home from Japan because one of the only places that we really liked was GJG in Kirishiki, and he didn't sell coffee beans, so... Okay, the last 2 things I almost forgot are these washi tapes. So I believe these are both exclusive to, exclusively for Starbucks Reserve. And this one is called something in Japanese that I cannot read, but let's take a look at them. Okay, so this one is blue, and it has a bunch of different Starbucks Reserve Roastery drinks, which I really like. That is what they look like. They're so pretty. I can't wait to use these. And then this one, it's another yellow. So I liked the neutral background, and it's Starbucks Reserve and Nakameguro illustrations. So there's a bicycle, a traveler's notebook with the cherry blossom charm, cup, pastries, really cute. Okay, and that's what this one looks like. And that's everything that I got from the Starbucks Reserve Roastery. Next up, we are going to talk about Traveler's Factory Nakameguro. So this is located in Meguro City, and it's about a 10-minute walk from the Starbucks Reserve Roastery. So if you are planning on visiting Traveler's Factory, it might be a good idea to plan visiting both of these together. This one is open at 12, and this is what the bag looks like when you visit. A couple things about the location. So it's a fairly big space compared to the airport and the train station. It is kind of in a neighborhood. It almost seems like it's in an alleyway, and it's 2 levels. So the main level is the retail area where you shop to your heart's content. There's like a wall of inserts, there's accessories, there's even some TSL items. So the really cool thing about this location is there's a second level where you can lounge and have a coffee. So if you have time, you can go to this location, do your shopping, and then you can go to the second level and have a coffee and sit there and do some journaling. Keep in mind that if you do want to go to the second floor, you have to pay for all of your items first. And if you want a coffee, you buy the coffee at the front desk. We didn't stay in the lounge area just because we had a lot of places we wanted to go that day. So I mainly did my shopping, and then I took a look at the lounge. I believe this is the original location as well. Let me show you what I got. Okay, so I did ask them if they could wrap it up as a gift. So I got this baggage check and a have a nice trip sticker. So you get to pick your stickers. And they always have a little Traveler's Factory sticker. I believe you can get this as a washi tape as well. Okay, I had trouble finding exclusive inserts. I don't know if that was just me not doing my research or maybe they were sold out. I wasn't sure, but for the other locations it was a lot more obvious when they had exclusive inserts, like the Tokyo train station would have train station, the Kyoto would have the Kyoto, but here it seemed more like just the regular store, and it had in stock of everything that you could want of the regular line. So I actually ended up spending a lot of time trying to figure out what was exclusive. So this is what I ended up walking away with. I did get these stickers, and I'm not going to go through them because I showed them in a previous clip. I got these really cool Pan Am Airways stickers. Okay, so this one is for Traveler's Factory. I just love the vintage feel of these stickers. You can see I was very slowly just collecting the entire Love and Trip themed collection for 2025, but I love these stickers and I'm looking forward to using these so I can always remember my trip. I don't know if you've seen these sticker sets, but they come with quite a lot of stuff. So first you get this beautiful sheet of stickers, and they always come out with the most beautiful sticker sheets. And sometimes I'm afraid to use them, but I'm not going to be afraid to use them this year. I'm going to decorate my books with these. It also comes with tabs, so there's a large size for the months of the year, and then there's a smaller size, presumably for the passport. You also get these really cool icon stickers, and I'm excited to use these as well. And then you get these dot stickers. I think they are slightly transparent. I don't know if you can write on these, but I will test that out. And then you get these little sticker pouches. So these are stickers, and I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little slit here, and you can, when you stick them onto something, you can use them as like a pouch to keep things. And then finally, there are these transfer stickers with small letters, large letters, and numbers. And I am excited to use these. I haven't always known what to do with them, but they had a lot of examples in the shop to inspire you. They actually spelled out Love and Trip 2025. So that is the sticker set. And this is available all over. Like, this isn't exclusive to Japan. Let's take a look at this washi. I don't know if this was an exclusive, but I did really like it. So it's different trains. And what I really liked about this washi was the neutral white background. Just make it a bit easier for decorating on pages. And I liked the earthy neutral tones of their trains. Okay, so that's what this one looks like. I noticed their washi doesn't seem to have long repeats, but that's okay. So yeah, I really liked how this one is a little more neutral with the background, and it's smaller as well. So as for inserts, I don't think I really ended up getting anything exclusive, honestly, but I got this insert. Okay, we'll start with this passport. So this is a blank cream passport, and I do not know what it says. I can look it up after on my Translate app, but I really liked this illustration style, and I wish I could see what this all says. If you know, feel free to comment. And on the back it just says, I don't know, something collaborates with Traveler's Factory. So I just really liked the design of this, and I think I saw this insert at other locations, so I don't think it was exclusive, but I did really like it, so I picked that up. I got these 2 grid TRP notebooks, and it looked like this was a collaboration with Baumkuchen, and they had samples of the inserts that you could browse in the store, and I really liked the grid. The Traveler's Company gridded insert isn't my favorite because I think their grids are a little bit bigger, and I really liked the size of these ones. So on the back it says designed by Baumkuchen Studio, produced by Traveler's Company, made in Japan. I liked the size of the grid. I liked that it looks like it's a bit of like a cream paper color instead of white. And looking at my current journal, so this is my Good Impressions cream paper, and you can see it's a little bit lighter. I don't know if you can see that, but it's about the same grid size, I think. This is 3.7 and this is, I'm guessing this is maybe 4, or actually I don't know. So maybe the Traveler's Company one is 5. I don't have one in front of me, but I do remember it was a bit bigger for my writing, and I prefer the smaller grids for my writing. So anyway, you can never have too many blank notebooks, and grid is my favorite style. I like the blank cream ones for sketching, but I prefer the grid for writing. So I did get 2 of them. And since I go through these inserts a lot faster than the 520 book that I used last year, standard size book, I like to have a stash of inserts ready to go so I'm not panicking when I start running out. And last but not least, I got another sticker release paper. So that's everything that I got from the Nakameguro location. Next up, we are going to travel to Traveler's Factory Tokyo train station. This is located in the Tokyo train station, and I will say it was the hardest one to find. We walked in circles. What we learned is that the map locations in Japan aren't always completely accurate, so we tried to follow the map directions and we ended up kind of walking in circles, and we found the easiest way to find the Tokyo station location was to actually go to the street level and to look for the Marinucci North exit. So there are a few different entrances to the Tokyo train station, but look for the Marinucci one and then try to find the north entrance. It is a set of stairs that you can take from the street level and then take them down into the train station. And then once you go down those stairs, I think I took a quick video to talk out what it was because my memory is horrible. I'll insert the clip that I took for us trying to retrace our steps because we did visit this location a second time and we got lost again. And it wasn't until we went back outside onto the street level to the Marinucci North entrance that we were able to find it again. Can you show me?
Yeah, we're on the north side. That's the central, that's the south.
And where were the stairs?
The stairs were right here.
Okay, so you come down the stairs over there.
And you turn left.
And then you turn left, and it's right there. The location itself is pretty small, but it had so much character, and I think it might have been one of my favorite locations despite its size. It's similar to the airport location where it's just floor to ceiling, packed with traveler's notebook goodies. In the stamping area, there are the standard like self-inking stamps. There are also the rubber stamps that you use a stamp pad for. And then they also had this like giant self-inking stamping machine. And I'll show you what it looks like. So you insert whatever you want to stamp under it. And then you kind of have this like lever that you pull. And it will add a pretty substantial stamp onto whatever you're trying to stamp. And actually, it was really helpful to use that stamp because I learned that a lot of train stations also use that style of stamp. So some train stations will have the rubber stamp with the inking pad, but other ones will use that machine looking thing. And it was really helpful to know what to look for because I was simultaneously also trying to collect stamps from train stations. So that's what the stamp looks like. It does bleed through on the other side, so be careful. But it's a really cool stamp, and since this was the first time I ever used a machine like that, I appreciated that intro. Let's take a look at what I got. Okay, the first thing I'll show you is I got this Train Trip Tokyo Station bag. They had a lot of these at different locations, and I was tempted to collect them all because I think that is the goal, to convince you to collect them all. But I knew it would be a slippery slope. So my priority was inserts. I really wanted to get location exclusive inserts and brass charms. So I only ended up getting one of these. There were a few others, like there was a coffee themed one, but I really liked this one was Tokyo Station. And it says Marinucci Building, so again, look for that north entrance, and it has this red and green theme that you saw on the stamp. This is the charm that I got. This one is the Traveler's Factory Tokyo Station. And then it's blank on the back. I got these letter press stickers. On the back it says, craftsmen made these stickers one by one in the traditional letterpress printing machine. Please stick them on your traveler's notebook refills or on your suitcase. I just thought these were so beautiful. So they're textured. And this one is an ivory beige background with the black detailing, and it says Traveler's Factory Station, train trip from Tokyo Station, all aboard. And then this one says all aboard, get on Traveler's Train, and then there's a bunch of different trains. And this one is kind of like a blue-gray with a very dark navy detailing. I love these. I'm not sure what I'm going to use these on. I don't think I'll put this on luggage, but so beautiful. I couldn't resist, and I got another washi. This felt like restraint because there were so many washi tapes to choose from, but I mean, looking at my growing washi tape stash, I'm not sure if I really did show that much restraint, but let's take a look at what this one looks like. This one's called Japan Guide Station Edition. This one is a vertical one. So it says TFA Travel Guide Japan, and I think that's where the repeat ends. So that is what the washi tape looks like. I'm excited. I'm going to use these for my memory keepings. I really loved these inserts. I think after Starbucks, these are probably some of my favorite exclusive inserts. I'll start with this one. So this says Travelers Tokyo something in Japanese. I'll have to look that up after. And this is what the back looks like. And inside is a blank cream insert. Next we have this train trip from Tokyo Station. It is like a brick red with gold foiling. It's so beautiful. And this is the back. And you can see it is a blank cream insert. And the last one is all aboard, get on the Traveler's Train, Traveler's Factory. It looks like it is also a blank cream paper insert. So I really don't mind having so many of these blank ones because I think they're so versatile. If you wanted to dedicate one insert to just train trips, one insert to coffee, you can certainly do that. Okay, I did go ahead and get one more unexpected but kind of big item, and I'm really excited to look at it because I have not looked at it since I got it, and that is I got the Traveler's Factory Station Edition. I mean, honestly, all of the exclusive leather covers were so beautiful. I loved the Starbucks one. There was a really pretty airport location one, which was very tempting as well. Kyoto has their own as well. I really wasn't planning on getting any new covers. Okay, so it comes with an orange extra elastic. And this is the cover. It is a dark brown cover, and it has gold foiling, and it says all aboard, get on the Traveler's Train from Tokyo Station, Traveler's Factory Station. And then on the inside, you get another one of these Traveler's Train inserts, and it is a blank cream insert, which I like because the regular notebooks that you get, they come with a blank insert, which I believe is white Midori paper, and as you know, I prefer the cream. So Tokyo Station location was probably, I would say, like probably one of my favorite locations. I liked their exclusive items the most, and I really fell in love with the train system in Japan. I mean, it's hard not to fall in love with their train system. It's so efficient and well run. So I think I'm going to use this for my Japan scrapbooking because they do get pretty chunky. It's so beautiful, and it was really well priced. I think it was about 5,400 yen, which comes out to about $35 USD. Out of all the ones that I saw in my time in Tokyo, this one was my favorite, so I went ahead and I picked it up. Okay, well, that's everything that I got from the Tokyo train station. So we're going to jump ahead a few days in my trip to when we visited the Traveler's Factory. One pleasant surprise was we arrived in Kyoto on a holiday. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was like some kind of sports holiday or something. And because of that, a lot of things were actually closed. And we were worried that the Kyoto Travelers Factory would be closed because our time in Kyoto was mainly meant to be a base, and we were planning on doing a lot of day trips. And so the day we arrived was looking like it was going to be the best day for us to visit the Travelers Factory. And we hadn't anticipated that there was going to be this holiday. So if you do go to Japan, I mean, anywhere you travel, it's probably obvious to look ahead and see when there are holidays in case it impacts the places that you want to visit. We got lucky because I guess retail in general was open in the area that Travelers Factory Kyoto is located in. Having said that, it is located in the Ace Hotel, and there's a lot of other really great stores in that area. And there's a lot of seating in case you go with someone who isn't so into stationery and Traveler's Factory. The Kyoto location is by far the biggest location out of all of them. So as a shopping experience, there's a lot more space for you to browse and take your time looking around. It also seemed to sell the Superior Labor bags. I actually think I saw the Superior Labor at all of the locations, but I didn't inquire or I didn't try to buy anything. So I'm not sure if you could buy them on the spot or if you had to order them in advance. I'm not too sure. There was one engineer bag that I had my eye on, and I did ask them how much it was, even though I had a feeling it was out of my price range. But they said it wasn't available, so I'm a little confused as to why it was on display despite it not being for sale, but maybe it was like an exclusive model or something and they stopped selling it. I'm not too sure, but it was a canvas bag with green on the bottom, and it was a bit of a smaller size compared to the one I was looking at in the TSL store and lab. So I thought it might be a bit more affordable, but it was not available for sale. There's also a pretty large lounge area where the stamps are. So after you make your purchase, you can go up a few steps to this lounge area and stamp to your heart's content. I definitely did that. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I got. Oh, I forgot to mention, the opening hours are from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I also forgot to mention for the Travelers Factory Tokyo Station, it is open from 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. We'll start with this. So I got this Have a Nice Trip canvas bag, cloth bag, and it says Nakameguro, Tokyo, Japan. Next, of course, I got my brass tag. I think is really pretty. This Travelers Factory, Kyoto, and then the cherry blossom was really strong in Kyoto. It was all over their products, and they actually had a really cute Travelers Factory fountain pen, and it was pink. So that's the brass tag. So these are the inserts that I got. We'll start with this one because it's not a store exclusive, but I got it because when I was in Bungu Box, I really liked how they had the ink samples and swatches of all their inks in something like this. It wasn't exactly a traveler's notebook, but I liked what they did. Funnily though, it says 60 pockets, and I have way more than, this is kind of sad to admit, but I have more than 60 inks if you include my ink bottles and my ink samples. I liked the idea of using something like this to organize my ink samples. Maybe I'll only use this for inks that I have bottles of. So these are the 3 inserts that I could find. The first insert is this really beautiful gray insert with a rose gold or copper foiling. And it says there's a reason why we tripped to Kyoto, and then there's a bunch of different things. It is a blank MD cream insert. The next one is this really beautiful green insert, and it's like a dark mossy olive green, and it's got gold foiling, and it says green tea leaf paper, and it smells like green tea. So this is what the pages inside look like, and I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do with this insert, but the color of the insert really drew me in. This is like one of my favorite colors, and it's so unique with the tea pages. So on the back it says, this paper is washi, a Japanese traditional paper blended with grinded used green tea leaves from Shizuoka Prefecture, being famous for green tea. You can enjoy the natural texture of the washi paper. It is recommended to write with water-based pens, oil-based ballpoint pens, and brush pens. Feathering might occur if you write with fountain pens. So not fountain pen friendly. And I don't know, maybe I'll theme it with tea. I do drink a lot of tea, so I'm not sure yet, but I'm really excited that I was able to grab this. Okay, and then the last insert is this Hausu style paper, and it's this navy blue with this silver foiling. It's really pretty. And on the back it says, this paper is made to pursue a style of traditional Japanese paper, Hausu paper. Hausu paper is a handmade paper which was used for historical official documents in Japan. You can enjoy the natural texture and comfortable writing with fountain pens. So this is a fountain pen friendly paper, and it almost feels like it definitely has texture to it. So it's kind of like how Midori paper is a little more textured compared to like Tomoe River paper, but it's even more texture. So this will be very interesting to try out with my fountain pens. Maybe I'll turn this into like maybe I'll add this to my fountain pen ink log. This is the kind of thing that I was really looking for in going to these travelers factories, is just to find these really unique inserts that you couldn't get in Toronto and has a story behind it. So I'm excited about this one. I think this is also, it's not quite as cream as some of the other inserts, but it's I don't think it's white either. So let me compare. So this is a cream insert, and yeah, so you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but this is a little bit more cream than this. This might be white. So here's my pen log, and I guess if we compare to this, yeah, this is a white background and this is cream. So it's a little bit lighter than the MD cream, but it's not quite like a white, if that helps. I don't know if you can see that in this lighting. I'll try to bring it up to the camera. Let me actually go to a blank page if I have one. Okay, here's a blank page. So this is a blank white Midori paper insert from Traveler's Factory. This is the Kyoto special paper, I can't remember what it's called, and then this is the MD cream. So I don't know if you can really tell the difference on camera, but there's definitely a color difference there. I went to the Kyoto Travelers Factory on 2 separate days. This was near the end of our trip. Kyoto was our last stop before we went back to Tokyo and then back home to Toronto. And on one of the days, we had all these plans to go on another day trip, but I think fatigue hit us pretty hard and we decided to pivot our plans and spend the day in Kyoto instead. So we went to this delicious bakery called Five Ran, and Mike went there first while he was waiting for me the first time I went to the Travelers Factory and got the most delicious curry bun. It is meat, so if you eat meat and you're into curry buns, the one at Five Ran was so delicious. I couldn't stop thinking about it, so when we spent the day in Kyoto, we decided to go back to get another because who knows when we're going to have something as delicious as that again. I mainly went back because I wanted to get some postcards to send to friends, and while I was there, I of course managed to pick up a few more things. First, 2 things that I picked up were the brass pencil and some eraser and refills. You can definitely get these items in Toronto, so they're not exclusive to Japan. The reason why I ended up picking one up is because the price was so much better than getting this same item in Toronto. And I like how compact this is, and I like to carry a pen with me in my traveler's notebook wallet. And I don't have it on me, but my wallet has that little pouch. Currently, that pouch houses my cards, but it would also fit one of these pencils. I decided to go with a pencil because I don't use a pen that often for my wallet. I'm always worried about ink drying out because it's not something that's getting used on a daily basis. So I thought a pencil would be a really nice addition. And I also like how portable this is because when I'm traveling, I always like to have a pencil with me. And currently I travel with a mechanical pencil, but I like how compact this is. I like that it has a cap so that it doesn't ruin whatever I'm storing it in. Okay. So I chose the standard brass. I know they had a Tokyo edition and they were actually still selling the Tokyo edition pencil, but I just prefer the brass. And the way it works is you have these little pencils and you cap it like that so that it's a more comfortable writing experience. So I think when I'm traveling, I actually prefer to use pencils like this over mechanical pencils. I know mechanical pencils are more precise, but I just like the feel of pencils like this when I'm drawing. These are just refills, so more pencils and more erasers. Yeah, so this is what the pencils look like. It just says made in Japan, TRC. And then if you, I guess, open the package on the other end, then you have 2 erasers, 2 extra erasers. I think this is going to be very useful and functional. I like it so much, I'm not even sure if I will keep it in my wallet anymore. I might just keep it in my regular pencil case. I could see myself putting it on the outside of my pencil case when I travel, and since it's a pencil, I don't have to worry about it leaking. Final thing that I got is something that I completely was not expecting to add to my lineup for next year. This is 100% an emotional decision because I just fell in love with Traveler's Notebook so much while I was away. And I have been thinking about doing some memory keeping in a way that's sustainable for me. And I realized that doing weekly memory keeping is more sustainable for me because I really love the 1 day, 1 page, but realistically, I'm not a daily journaler. I like to do like stream of conscious writing, but memory keeping wise, I think I would be setting myself up for failure if I tried to commit to like 1 day a page. And so I was planning on doing weekly vertical. I resisted Travelers because I prefer having the entire year in one book. But when you're in Japan visiting all those Travelers factories, it's really hard to not get worn down. So I am going to make an exception for my preference of preferring to have this all in one book, because the alternative is to get another brand of insert that combines them but probably has a bunch of notes pages as well, and I don't really want that because I have other notebooks to take notes with. So this one is a weekly vertical, which means it's got this vertical setup as opposed to the horizontal style, which has the horizontal weeks this way and then a memo page on the side, very similar to the Hobonichi weeks. So I am just going to use this as a for fun, jot down some memories of my week and use whatever stickers I feel like doing, and I'm going to enjoy decorating, and I enjoy decorating my inserts a lot more than my Hobonichis because the Hobonichis bulk up so quickly, and I know some people really love that, and I love the look of it. I love flipping through it, but when I'm actually using it, I do not like it. We're gonna give this a try, and the fun thing is because I picked these up at the Kyoto location, I had a bit of fun adding some stamps from the location on the inside. So I'll always have this memory of being in Kyoto and getting these stamps when I was there. This one is the January to June, so it goes all the way until July 6th. And then this is the second book, and I added some more stamps. So I kind of messed up here, but that's okay. I tried to focus on the Kyoto exclusives, just because I bought this insert there, and I don't think I added, oh yeah, I loved this stamp. This was such a cool stamp. I think it was only at the Kyoto location, but it was about this big, and I just had so much fun using it. So it says, have a good day, good music, good coffee, and a good notebook, Traveler's Factory. So I think it's really special that I was able to stamp this while I was there, and all year next year I'll be able to use the books that I got on my dream trip and do some memories. So sneak peek at one of the additions to my 2025 lineup. This is something that I'm going to be including in my lineup for the memory keeping side of things. It also comes with this really cute sticker. And these really beautiful illustrations for the 2025 guide. I was tempted to also get some of the 2025 branded inserts, like the monthly passport, like I did for 2024, just because they come with really cute stickers. But I really didn't use that insert all that much this year. So I think if I ever were to maybe go on a trip, and if I were to try logging things in the same way that I did on my Japan trip, I'll probably just draw those into a blank insert that I already have in the notebook, so I don't need to have a separate one. So I held off on getting that monthly insert. That concludes my massive haul from all 4 different Travelers Factory locations. So there are 4 Travelers Factory locations in Japan. 3 of them are in Tokyo and 1 of them is in Kyoto. And then there's also the Starbucks Reserve Roastery, which isn't a Travelers Factory official location, but I think their collaboration products are so good that it is worth including that on your trip if you are planning a trip to Japan to visit Travelers Factory. Overall, I would say that I think Tokyo was my favorite. I don't know why, but maybe it was the products they sold. I liked the inserts that they had in their design, especially their standard leather cover. And then I think maybe the Narita airport. Surprisingly, the Nakameguro was really great. I think if I had maybe spent more time in the lounge, I would have appreciated even more. And Kyoto was my least favorite, but that's not to say I didn't like it. I think it definitely had some of the most unique inserts with the different papers, and it was a much larger location, so a much more comfortable shopping experience. I didn't necessarily feel like they had more stock in terms of Travelers Company items compared to the other ones. If anything, I think it had the same, but maybe they sold other products that weren't necessarily specifically Travelers Factory, so you could buy more things while you were there. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that you saw today. I know it was a lot of stuff, and I do want to acknowledge that this isn't really like a normal shopping trip for me. I went into this trip intending to visit all of the locations because I had been kind of dreaming about it for so long, and I tried to have a strategy to guide myself so that I didn't go crazy and buy everything that I wanted, because there were definitely things that I left behind. But I think my strategy overall of focusing on inserts that were specific to each location and the brass charms, which I really wanted as well, and then washi tape that called out to me, was a pretty good strategy, and I only really strayed from it at the end when I got some of these regular items and when I got that standard cover because I fell in love with it. So overall, I'm so grateful that I was able to visit these places in person. As a final, I guess, recommendation, if you have limited time in Tokyo and you want to visit as many as possible, I would start with the Starbucks Reserve Roastery because it opens at 7 a.m. Then I would walk over to Nakameguro, which opens at 12 p.m., though it is closed on Tuesdays. And then I would find my way to a train station and take the train over to the Tokyo train station and visit the Travelers Factory Tokyo train station location, which is open till 9 p.m. So you could easily do like breakfast at Starbucks, afternoon coffee in Nakameguro, and then maybe have lunch somewhere, and then go to Tokyo train station. And then actually I would recommend having dinner in Tokyo train station because they have an enormous amount of restaurants in that train station, and we dined there twice. There's a whole area with noodles, and we ended up getting ramen one night, and then there's a whole other section with larger sit-down restaurants, and you can find, I think I have a brochure somewhere that I can show at a later date of all the different restaurants in Tokyo train station. But if you wanted to spend an entire day just focusing on stationery, that's what I'd recommend. Otherwise, another option could be to do Nakameguro and Starbucks Reserve Roastery on one day and then enjoy that area because there's a bookstore and a lot of really cute cafes and restaurants. We actually did Tokyo Station on a separate day, and we looped that in with Ginza. We kind of packed in all of our Ginza shopping and Tokyo train station shopping on that day, and that was actually the same day we went to Tobichi and Bungu Box. But it was also one of our biggest walking days, so also make sure that you have very good walking shoes because you will be walking a lot if you try to pack all of that in one day. Well, I have been talking long enough. I feel like I'm losing my voice. So if you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much for being here and sitting through my haul. I'd love to know what you think. And if you've been to Japan, what were your thoughts? If you visited the Travelers Factory, which one was your favorite? Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. If you're planning a trip and you have any specific questions about anything with trip planning, definitely not an expert, but I would be happy happy to share my thoughts if I have any that I think could help you. And I think with that, I'm gonna sign off. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye!